Greetings and welcome. This is KYC News for you. We will share with you this new exciting fitness program on how to pass the new Air Force fitness test, according to a guy who oversaw 600 of them. Buckle up. The Air Force's new yearly physical fitness exam has been given hundreds of times, and Air Force Tech Sergeant Alexander House has learnt a few tips that might help others pass it as painlessly as possible. House, an F-35 crew chief at Hill Air Force Base in Utah and unit fitness program manager, recently posted some of his hard-won knowledge on the unofficial Air Force subreddit, where many other commenters appeared to appreciate the effort. House highlighted that he is neither the fitness program manager for Hill or the spokesperson for Air Force fitness testing. He created the essay to inform and encourage airmen to educate themselves on the new test, know the benefits and some of the dangers I've observed. I gave them some advice and my perspective to make them more prepared. In order to allow airmen more freedom to demonstrate their fitness, the Air Force announced last year that it would be making significant adjustments to its physical training test. In the last assessment, a 1.5-mile run was used to exhibit cardiovascular fitness, push-ups were used to show upper body strength, and sit-ups were used to demonstrate core strength. These alternatives are still available in the new exam, but airmen can additionally select shuttle run sprints for the aerobic section, hand release push-ups for the upper body strength section, and cross-leg reverse crunches or planks for the core strength section. The Air Force briefly contemplated allowing airmen to select a mile of brisk walking as their cardio exercise. Later, the service discontinued it due to equipment requirements and the need for further testing, according to a news statement from the Air Force, but it is still accessible to airmen who are not authorized by their doctors to run or sprint. The Air Force has released score guides for each event and for each of the 9 age categories, even though it is currently evaluating the new components. Warning: some of the alternatives are not necessarily simple just because they are new. House stated, the new elements can be really beneficial, but they're not free passes. The majority of respondents who tried one of the new ones because they had heard it was simple, but hadn't personally mock tested a full set, ended up doing worse than they had thought, the study found. The first piece of guidance from House concerned the shuttle run test, also referred to as the high aerobic multi-shuttle run. Airmen move back and forth between two lines that are 20 meters apart in HAMR. As they perform more repetitions, the amount of time they have to go from one line to the next decreases, and if you miss the mark 3 times in a row, your exam is over. Although the best score he observed was at level 9, House claimed that the majority of people who are reasonably fit may reach levels 6 or 7. According to him, the majority of airmen leave HAMR before ever missing a shuttle. HAMR begins slowly, but it can easily become overwhelming. Do not wait until your physical fitness exam day to find out how your legs, lungs, and stomach will respond to 5-ish minutes of continuous sprinting and pivoting, House said. Remember that not just the participants are new to HAMR. The exams are scheduled and scored by fitness assessment cells, but some of them have not quite figured out how to grade these and will sometimes insist on discounting missed shuttles, House wrote. To potentially battle for a higher score, he advised, be sure you understand how your FAC is counting and get copies of your shuttle counting sheet. The hand release push-ups were included in the second round of suggestions from House. They are similar to conventional push-ups, with the exception that pilots rest their chests on the ground, spread their hands out to their sides, and then bring them back before performing another push-up. According to House, the hand release push-ups are the exercise that is both most frequently done and most underrated, since many people don't know how much it burns your shoulders out after 20 reps. The airmen discovered that participants either reached their maximum score of 40 repetitions in less than 80 seconds or struggled to complete 30 to 35 repetitions within the allotted 2 minutes. House discovered an intriguing exception that allows you to take your time lying on your stomach as long as your hands are moving and off the floor. The cross-leg reverse crunches are comparable to conventional crunches but demand greater coordination, just as the hand release push-ups. Participants position their hands across their chests while lying on their backs. The participants lie on their backs with their legs folded and elevate their knees over their waist. They then raise their right elbow until it touches their left thigh, lower it, and repeat with their left elbow touching their right thigh. If you have greater lower body strength than core strength, cross-leg reverse crunches are simpler to perform to your maximum capacity than sit-ups, according to House. He said, but it's not a free pass, and if your gut is huge enough, it's even impossible. Make sure you have the coordination to perform them correctly. A lot of people end up rolling around on the floor from trying to raise and twist their upper body excessively, House advised in his article. While moving your shoulders as little as possible, you should be bringing your legs to your elbows. Not everybody is swarming the new alternatives. House calculated that just around 1 in 50 airmen chose to try the plank instead of sit-ups. The airman said that one of the keys to getting over the plank is understanding your scoring brackets ahead of time. In order to pass the time while holding the plank position, he added that he also allowed participants to view videos on their phones or pick a tune they were familiar with. Even if they don't choose any of the new options, House has some advice for airmen. For the traditional run portion of the test, for example, House observed that most airmen are better runners than they believe, but they just suck at pacing. Everyone I ran with and paced performed significantly better than they expected, he said. The most common error is to run too fast on your first lap and gas yourself out. Get a pacer or a Garmin watch, and for the love of God, don't try to keep up with the swarm of fast runners from the starting line if you're not a fast runner. It happens to a lot of people, including House and some chubbier airmen who were nervous about the run but seemed to want to keep up with Captain CrossFit's 9-minute pace as soon as the timer started, he said. Other commenters supported him. Your perspective on running is all too accurate, one person said. I have a serious sprinting problem that was only solved by a running watch. According to House, the Air Force is still catching up to the recent PT shifts, as it is with many major changes. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, PT tests have been irregular for the past 2 years, and the Air Force is still ironing out the kinks in its online MyFitness system. Meanwhile, err on the side of caution, arrive early, and have all your paperwork in hand. Check your uploaded files in MyFitness, House wrote. Despite the difficulties, the airman stated that the new changes are a welcome addition to the test. It also helps that airmen can now take a diagnostic fitness test before taking an official one, which he describes as an excellent way of relieving PT test anxiety. Best of all, if the airman performs well on the diagnostic, that will be their official score. I tell everyone to stick with the devil you know and just do the classic components if you haven't tried the other stuff, he wrote. But man, some of the new things are straight up saving people. Check your score chart and try a 2-minute set of each one to see if you're one of those people who can easily max it out. We really hope that you learned the most from this video. If so, please like it and remember to subscribe to this channel for more. Enjoy your time.